So, Professor Stephen Beard messaged me directly, and I'm going to read it to you verbatim what was said. And part of it was something that I didn't know was once mentioned. And I know some of y'all are like, why still discuss BG wealth sharing? It's over. Listen, as long as there's a smidget of possibility for people to be able to extract some funds out that they initially invested, the principal, whatever the case may be, I'm going to always make sure that I highlight certain things that I think are worth discussing. And then if there are things that I'm uncertain of, I'll say that as well. I don't have any problem saying, I don't know, or being wrong about certain things. But I also like to gain insight, because a lot of you have shared different comments or insights or perspectives in areas that are of value to the community as well. So I like to do that. That being said, he messaged me directly, and this was after he had a full rant, and some people said he said some things that were like he was feeling some type of way in terms of his mental stability, not mental stability. What did he say? He said something along the lines of, wondering if he felt like continuing pushing through. It was just some detrimental thoughts that he had. I forgot exactly what it was. So anytime somebody says something that seems as though they're doubting their existence, so to speak, I always send prayers of positive energy in their direction. That's just a natural thing of mine. Now, I know people say that Professor Stephen Beard is not real, he's fake, yada yada. But anyway, after that time frame where he went through that rant, he ended up sending me the message that I'm about to share. I want to know your perspectives and if you knew about this one thing that he said, and then how do you plan to operate? Now, some people have already started joining the other exchange. I haven't. Some people already paid their 12%. I didn't. And I won't be doing that, but I do want to document certain things about what's going on in real time in the event that it benefits you in any way or enlightens you, because not everybody is reading all of the message that's in the bond chat. And this message was sent to me directly, so I'm not sure if other people received a message like this or a variation of a message like this. So let's get into the message, and then we'll go from there. So here's what the professor said, and you let me know your thoughts. So he says, no matter the circumstances, I have never abandoned you or any of our members. No matter how strong the storm, a rainbow will eventually appear. As long as we all remain steadfast, we will surely be able to reach the peak again. Paying taxes and migrating to a new platform are both challenges and a crucial test of trust. If you or your team have any doubts or are unwilling to cooperate with the process, you can choose to wait for the DSJEX Exchange to reopen after its 90 to 100-day audit investigation. Now, that part was news to me. You may have already known it. I didn't know they said that people can wait for the investigation to finish, and then once it reopens, determine whether or not you want to move forward from there. Now, for me, it's a couple of things that are questionable, because for one, if it's going through an investigation and they're talking about when it reopens, is there not a potential or strong possibility of automatic loss of funds altogether? Are the funds even still available? Are they all frozen? Is some of them still available, and just, not everything is fully frozen. 90 to 100 days, that's a big gap. That's a big window. I'm not sure how this quote unquote investigation takes place, but 90 to 180 days, that's like double the time frame. It's 90 or a whole nother 90 days. That sounds interesting, to say the least, on, if that is a good time frame. But I'm not sure how that works. But it definitely seems like whatever funds are on the exchange are at an even higher risk with this date range of 90 to 180 days. I could be wrong, but what are your thoughts on that below? And did you already know that they said people can wait until the quote unquote audit investigation is done to determine how they want to move forward? Then he goes on to say this HQI account migration is limited to 5 days, May 14th to May 18th. So it's basically 24 hours left at the time of this recording before you can actually migrate. Now, them boxing you into a time frame is another thing that, I don't like. Just like they were saying, how you got this amount of time for the 12%. Then they extended it. Then they extended again. They extended again. Are they going to extend this again? Well, we received a lot of people that said they wanted to extend it, and now they extended beyond that, and they're just trying to continue to squeeze and get whatever amount they can from people, because at first they was really serious about the 12% having to be paid. And did that dry up, which led them to saying, okay, we're going to create another platform. People can invest as little as $100. Most people are willing and able to do that. Let's just, do that and extract even more funds. I don't know. Are people going to be able to withdraw or transfer their funds? I don't know. Y'all let me know if this is something that you did, because some people who are tapped in, they have went ahead and taken that next step, went to the exchange. They're going to figure out if they're going to be able to withdraw, if they're going to be able to transfer their funds. So that's to be determined. I know some people think that, that's going to be a solution. Others are like, nah, I'm not spending any more money. That's where I am with it. And other people are willing to just kind of test it out to see. They're open to whatever comes from it, whether good comes from it or nothing comes from it. So they're saying that the last day to migrate is May 18th. That isn't fair, because a lot of times people are not even in the bond chat like that, to where that could easily be missed. But let's see if they extend it. Let's see how this plays out. And it says, so please make a decision soon. Once the funds are migrated, your entire balance will be safely transferred to your HQI account. Not only will there be no losses, but your regular trading will continue, and your potential earnings are expected to increase. Then it says, currently the daily trading signal on the HQI platform has resumed with a 2% increase in earnings. We provide 3 trading signals daily, 1, 7, and 9. Please log in to the HQI and bond chat to await the signal trades. So, what are your thoughts on this one? Is it likely that people are going to be able to withdraw on the new exchange? Is it likely that after the audit, DSJEX Exchange comes back better than ever? Or is it likely this is all BS and just buying time in order to continue to extract whatever funds can be extracted from those who still have faith in BG? What are your thoughts? Do you see through it, or do you feel there's some possibility there? Have you lost all hope, or you just cutting your losses altogether? Where you at? And I'm on the verge of finding a potential solution that I feel could allow people to create some cash flow from a passive standpoint while learning to trade. But I'm doing additional vetting before I just, share something. Not from a recruiting standpoint, none of that. I've said that before. I'll say that again. But I do want people to be armed with a solution, because we all got into BG worth sharing because we wanted to find a way that created more cash flow in a way that seemed to be passive, using what we knew to be copy trading. But it turns out that it could have been something totally different, just playing with numbers on the back end. Who knows? But people were able to make withdrawals. But was it only based on the recruiting? Can it sustain itself without recruiting? If so, there's power in that. If it only thrives off of recruiting being made, then that's where the issue lies. If it's true copy trading happening off of a large amount of accounts, or large amount of accounts using and trading a certain amount, then with or without recruiting, it should be profitable. That would make sense. But they're still pushing the recruiting side heavily on the HQI. They got, hey, you can get to this level, you get this many people. So that still smells like the possibility of no real trades happening, because I want to know, can people be profitable without recruiting? That would be the telltale sign of if this something that has a future to it. If not, then it's just a whole nother rabbit hole that I'm not going down anyway. I just want to document and also let you know, or let you have the opportunity to share your perspectives, because I love to see the perspectives. I read a lot of the comments that come through, and those who share good value information, I give credit where credit is due. That's all I got for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Salute.